The following story about how the Saami were created was told me by Dr. A.R. Borden from the Life Physics Group, California. Some 4.2 to 4.5 billion years ago up to about 6 billion years ago, life was seeded on a planet which orbited Sirius C, which then was a bright, hot, blue star, probably of spectral class B. This planet is the same one we today call Nibiru. It was surrounded by 11 to 12 satellites or moons, and the planet itself is about 6 times the size of Earth. As we have discussed in a previous paper, life doesn't magically appear in the universe, it is seeded, or panspermed, which is the technical term for it. Nibiru Saami was panspermed by an older race from a neighboring star system. We know this to be true, but who really did it is still not totally clear. There are a few theories, though, built on information gathered by contacts with different ET groups, so I am going to be flexible here and give a couple of theories. This murky area needs some more research, though, and there is just a matter of time before we will know. I will eventually write an update. The first theory, as given to me by Dr. Borden, is that the Nibiruans were panspermed by a race known in UFO circles as the Tall Whites. This humanoid ET group, 5.7 to 9 feet tall, with snow-white hair, almond-shaped, oval eyes and white skin, are still here on Earth, occupying a base in the Nevada desert, close to Nellis Air Force Base. They have hinted that they come from a star system close to Arcturus. A second, and perhaps more likely one, is that the Saami were created from had been genetically engineered by the Lyrans, just like we were to begin with. What speaks in favor of this theory is that they look very similar to how the Lyrans are normally depicted. Caucasian-looking, much taller than today's humans, and the men almost always had full beards, sometimes braided, and the men also often had long hair. We are now talking about the species which is most commonly depicted in Sumerian cuneiform, but I have reason to believe that by the time the Saami visited Earth, they were a mix of more than one species, working in unison. At least one of these other species was reptilian. A third theory is that the Saami is just a subgroup of the Lyrans, who developed on their own, without much intervention with their Lyran brothers and sisters. They created their own reality, became conquerors of their own, and teamed up with whomever they wanted. In this version we are going to use the Tall Whites or their creator gods until we can get that confirmed or not. The way the Tall Whites look, we can see they are also originating from Lyra. Perhaps 2 to 3 billion years after Nibiru had been seeded and intelligent life forms had developed on the planet, the Saami noticed that Sirius C was becoming unstable and would soon turn into a nova. When this happened, it would wipe out all life on the planet. If we use the Borden's version, some of it which he got from the Saami themselves. By the way, what the Tall Whites did was to speed up the evolution on Nibiru, so that the humanoid species they had seeded with their own DNA, and DNA from other more primitive species, could become advanced enough to space travel and perhaps be able to leave the star system before the inevitable catastrophe.